We've had a chance during these meetings to discuss a set of concerns, to listen to one another, and to pledge to maintain that openness in our communication. So I do think we've made some progress, and I think we can have a healthy economic relationship that's benefits both of us and the world, and work together where we recognize very common concerns, even taking these national security steps. De-risking involves attention to clearly articulated and narrowly targeted national security concerns, as well as a broader concern with diversifying our supply chains, which the United States is doing in a few important sectors, but that we will continue, even in those sectors, to have trade and investment between our countries, that a great deal of our economic interaction with respect to trade and investment is unproblematic, uncontroversial, brings benefits to us, brings benefits to China, and that we want that to continue. We have agreed that when they have concerns that our actions go beyond what I've described, that they can let us know that, and we want to open up channels so that they can express concerns about our actions, and we can explain and possibly in some situations respond to unintended consequences of our actions if they're not carefully targeted. My objective during this trip has been to establish and deepen relationships with the new economic leadership team in place in Beijing. Our discussions are part of a broader, concerted effort to stabilize the relationship, reduce the risk of misunderstanding, and discuss areas of cooperation. Over the past 2 days, I have had the chance to do just that. I've met with Premier Li, Vice Premier He, Finance Minister Liu, People's Bank of China head Pan, and other senior officials to discuss important pillars of our economic relationship. These conversations were direct, substantive, and productive. We were able to learn more about each other's economies and policy choices, which I believe is vital as the world's two largest economies. Even where we don't see eye to eye, I believe there is clear value in the frank and in-depth discussions we had on the opportunities and challenges in our relationship, and the better understanding it gave us of each country's actions and intentions. Broadly speaking, I believe that my bilateral meetings, which totaled about 10 hours over 2 days, served as a step forward in our effort to put the U.S.-China relationship on a surer footing. I also raised the importance of ending Russia's brutal and illegal war against Ukraine. As we continue to monitor the domestic situation in Russia, U.S. support for Ukraine will not change, and I communicated that it is essential that Chinese firms avoid providing Russia with material support or assistance with sanctions evasion. We also spoke about national security and human rights. I emphasized to my counterparts the necessity of clear and direct communication on the actions we're taking and why we are taking them. Senior-level engagement is particularly vital during moments of tension. The U.S. will continue to take targeted actions that are necessary to protect our national security interests and those of our allies. As we do so, we adhere to a set of important principles, like making sure our national security actions are transparent, narrowly scoped, and targeted to clear objectives. Importantly, these actions are motivated by straightforward national security considerations. They are not used by us to gain economic advantage. Ultimately, what road we go down in our bilateral relationship is a choice that both countries make. And I believe that our two countries must make the right choice for our people and the world, one that advances our shared interest for peace and prosperity. The relationship between the United States and the People's Republic of China is one of the most consequential of our time. As the world's two largest economies, our nations collectively represent 40% of the global economy. What we do, both in the bilateral sphere as well as on the broader global stage, shapes the lives and livelihoods of the people in our countries and beyond. I have been intent on speaking about this relationship plainly and honestly to address the challenges and opportunities that face us based on sober realities. The U.S. and China have significant disagreements. Those disagreements need to be communicated clearly and directly. But President Biden and I do not see the relationship between the U.S. and China through the frame of great power conflict. We believe that the world is big enough for both of our countries to thrive. Both nations have an obligation to responsibly manage this relationship, to find a way to live together and share in global prosperity.